I have just left the village of Kopčany in northwestern Slovakia, about 50 miles from Bratislava, and I'm very near to the town of Holic, which you were referring to as a village. But this is the road that leads to Holic, and Holic is somewhere around there. See. Great, but it is over there, and this is about less than 2 miles to get there. You were referring to it as a village, but this is a quite large town. The police were just setting up the radar trap. They were looking at me like, what am I doing there? They camouflaged it, and they are set there, so I have to remember to be careful not to speed while I'm going over the railroad tracks. And this is the new coat of arms of Holic, and the Holic starts right after this gas station there. So usually the way I do these videos is that I will go through the town, get some bearings. Though I have been here before. There's a huge manor house here, to which Maria Theresia, who was the queen of Austro-Hungarian Empire at the time, had the summer residence here, and she would come and spend the summer here in this manor house. And here is Holic, your ancestral town. So still on the outskirts of the town. I also have the history of the town, which I will translate for you. It's one of the churches. Coming into downtown, what we call a downtown, and they call it the center of the town. And usually this is evidenced by the city hall, which is right here, which I will come to. And the oldest buildings are here. And then here is the town square, which I will come to, and another church over there. And behind this building here is the manor house somewhere there, which I will try to get to as well. It appears to be large, but by our standards it's a quite small town. So I'm almost at the end of the town by now. Past the intersection, and almost at the end of the town. Now this was, mind you, only one of the town streets, which this town is kind of spread. It's not like the usual village, but the old core of the town was the main road. They called it the Czech road. It was at the crossroads here, and there was one road that went to Austria from north to south, and the other one went from east to west to Czech lands those times, because it was Austro-Hungarian Empire. So there was no Czechoslovakia or Czech Republic or anything like that. And this is it for Holic. So I will turn at some convenient spots and go back to the town, because Holic is very close to Skalica. So what I will do, since I'm at the end, I will turn in here and go some other road, because this is the end, and I will try to go through another road, which is the second, probably not as main road as the one before. Here you got the sign again, Holic. This is also a very old street, because it's evidenced by the buildings here, and they have a big main entrance, and then the houses are sideways, built sideways, and in the middle, behind the house, there's a big courtyard in every house, which you can't kind of see from the outside. This is also very old around here. These are the typical old houses, which they have a big main door. They call it in Eastern Slovakia kapura. Here they call it just a door, dvere. And they, as I said, the big courtyard is in behind those doors. I'm currently looking for the cemetery, and since this is a crossroads of 4 roads, I could have one of the 4 roads, that's where the cemetery could be. So I went to 2 ends and it isn't here, so I will try some other exits and see if it is at the other 2. So I asked and I got directions to the cemetery, apparently somewhere behind the churches. Shouldn't be long. Okay, I know where the cemetery is, I just have to find the road to it now. It is behind the church here, but I just have to find the right road for it. This is one of my options. It's up on the top of the hill here. So I'm at the entrance of the cemetery, and I will be looking for nosek. As you can see, the cemetery is huge. Now the way I do it, I will go every 3rd row to see if there is any graves, and as soon as I find it, I'll make a movie of it. It will take quite some time, so here and there I will stop and see even if I don't have anything. Okay? So far I went through this part only here, up to here, and there is no noseks. So now I will go through this part, going zigzag over there, and see if there is anything of your ancestry in here. See, the graves are facing different way now. So I seen this, just going zigzag through here. Now I have to go zigzagging the other way. Well, here's something here. It's a family Noskova, which is kind of like Noskova and Nosek. It makes sense. Okay. And it's 1929 and passed away in 1984. See, but this is definitely a Nosek. Okay, and since the grave is tended, family lives here. Now usually when you have one grave, there is like others nearby. Let's see if this is also a case with your family, but see here, I'm sure if I could find the office, it would be easy to find the sites, because the graves do have numbers. Okay, so even the Nosek grave has a number, but it's close to the side entrance here. Like this is the side entrance, these are the 3 crosses, just in the case we ever get here, and just right here is the Nosek grave. Okay, here we go. Mother, which is a doctor, Jan Nosek, born January 27, 1924, passed away February 21st, 1997. And his wife passed away too, but see, November 1st, somebody was remembering them. So again, if this is your family, you do have other family members here, since they came to pay their respects. I'm just looking here if this is not a Nosek next door here, but it isn't. Okay, so we kind of are pretty lucky with 2 graves so far. And it is really cold. It's about 3 degrees Celsius, which is, I don't know how much is in Fahrenheit, but anyway, it's near 0, which is like almost like really cold. Okay, so there is no Nosek here. So this section between the chapel and here, again the graves are facing the other way, so I have to go other way. Here is a big grave, Nosek as well. Except I have to go from the other side if there is anything written on the other side. This is quite an old grave. Here it says Dr. Samuel Dobrutsky, but on the other side it says Nosek. So maybe the stone is old, taken from Nosek, but this one is really old. Here is another family, Noskova, which is again Nosek, and the whole family, and he is born March 8, 1896. Wow, that's where my father was born, in 1896, and passed away in January 23rd, 1961. And his wife, who was Nee Schwarzova, she passed away as well. But again, the family remembered them. So another family here. And here is another one. Here is the family Truhlazova and Noskova. And here you even have she is Nee Nosko. And Anna, 1906, 1951. And I don't know if this is, maybe this is a Yaroslav Nosek. If you can see the resemblance of your family members, I have no clue. He was born in 1907, then you have a Michael. I guess this would be, I have no clue if this is Nosek, but it says like Rodina, family Truhlaj and Rodina and family Nosko. So there could be a connection there. Here you got another Nosek. Okay. This could be close to your ancestry there. 1898, 1983. Alžbeta Noskova, you see, like family Nosko, Nosek, Noskova, 1902, 1973, Pavel, 1862, 1898, and 1866, 1942. This is probably the oldest grave that is here, and you can see the flowers are there. The family is definitely here. So if you like to, after this, sometime maybe next year, I can go and really find your family, no problem. This is a newer part of the cemetery, so I will just go through here, see 3 rows of graves, and then go further down. And I still have all this to go through. It's not a big deal. I'm at another corner of the cemetery. So far no additional luck here, but I don't give up, so I still have this part to go through. Still might be something there. This cross here is for the memory of the unborn children. Pamiatky nenarodených detí, to the memory of, for the remembrance of the unborn children. And I'm at the end, and I have these 3 rows here to go through. And I guess what I found is about all the Noseks that are in here. Well, here, Rodina Noskova. Family Nosek. It's Paul, born 1934, passed away 1987. I'm at the entrance, but remember when I said I start over here, so I wasn't looking at this side at all because I have to focus on one side, and I knew I was gonna go by here at the end. This is the main Roman Catholic church in Holic, and it was first built in 1387. Originally it was in Gothic style. And then it was rebuilt in Baroque style at the end of 17th century. Here's the town's well in the old days. I'll come to it closer. And this is the Cross of Holy Trinity, and it is a cultural monument. Real well, except it's full of garbage here, but this used to be the town's well. This is one of the town squares which leads to the other one here. And this is the monument to the people that fell in the 2 world wars. Now let's see if there is any Nosek here. No, there is no Nosek under N. The manor house is behind this building, and it was like this was the center of the town, which there was the church, the manor house over there, the Maria Theresia summer castle, and there's also a water castle they called it. And anyway, so this is the center of all the action here. The old city hall is here. Okay. And in my records here, the first mention of town of Holic was in 1217, and it was called Vivar. And in 1256 it was called Vivar, and in 1322 it got the name of Holic. In 1332 it was Vivar, in Latin it was Vivar sive alba Elsesia, in Vulgari Teutonicati Vesumkirch. In 1336 it was a little different, and in 1397 it was Holic again, and in 1498 it was Holic an Feigas, and 1773 it was Golic. And in 1808 it was Holic again, and in Hungarian it was Holic. And it was in the Nitra county district of Skalica, and it was in western Slovakia's district. The middle of the town is 185 meters above the sea level, so times 3, which would be like almost 600 meters above sea level. And it is in the western Slovakia lowlands. This manor house was built on what it used to be the water castle. You can see the fortified walls here, and this used to be the moat here. And I'm sure there was a drawbridge here somewhere as well. They are fixing it for many years. I don't know what they're gonna have here in the future. But I can tell you that the town of Holic had, in 1869, it used to have 4,939 inhabitants. In 1880, it had 5229. In 1890, 1447. 1900, it had 5812. 1910, it had 5513 inhabitants. And then it went on and on until 1961, when it had 7,067 people used to live here. And in 1970, 7,570. The area here it was inhabited in Neolith, which is like a long time ago, as they found the burial sites from a Bronze Era and the Hallstatt culture, and also from the Roman Empire they found some archaeological sites as well. In 11th century, this used to be the water castle here, and it comes to the Great Moravian Empire. And in 1386 it became a castle manor house with the big families used to live here and owned it, and it used to be owned by Stiborovci, Neskor Chobovci. 1437 it owned by Šlikovs, and in 1444 Pongrač, and 1506 Chobors. In 1736 it became Habsburg Empire property. Also there were some wars here with the Turks, some battles. And in 18th century, the Habsburgs, they changed this to a luxury summer residence. And as I said before, it was intersection of the Czech Road. In 1552, people from Serbia came and inhabited the area. And after 16th century, the Havans, which are known for their distinguished ceramics, and they were Anabaptists, they didn't believe in the priests preaching the Bible, and they instead preached the Bible themselves. Close to the Hutterites or Mennonites, they used to live here. And Franz Lotrinsky, who was, I think, the husband of Maria Theresia, he began some factories here and manufacture of a maiolka, which is also the ceramic which is known throughout the western Slovakia. In 1787, the town had 1,414 houses and 3,294 inhabitants. In 1828, it had 619 houses and 33 inhabitants. See, this is closed and it is guarded by a dog here. But let me just see here to get a better idea. As you can see, it's not finished. And well, it does have a new roof, so I guess they don't have too much of a leakage coming through. But you can see it's a quite large building with many rooms, and I'm sure behind there were a lot of gardens and so on. In 1805, the French army took over the manor house, and in 19th century a lot of people left, and they went to the United States or Canada or throughout North America and also South America. And I guess the area in here, you can see this alley here, and I'm sure this was all beautifully manicured lawns and park here with some French gardens, except you can see what happened here. This is a central heating that the former government was famous to build. Here's the chimney there for the heating system, and they would, or I don't know, or from some factories they would run the steam through the town to heat some apartment buildings here. But these are all new buildings around here, and I'm sure this used to be the vast park. And you can see the church over there. As I said, it was probably just a walkway every Sunday for the monarch to go from here to over there. And the center of the town is right in the middle there. See, the manor house is over there, and this is the park. And I'm sure here this used to be the servants' quarters for the manor house, and one of the entrances is here. Right now there's a museum housed here, and it also has a really large exhibit or a collection of ceramics. And this is another well, water well, which I'm sure is also, I can't see, but I guess we can put this in here and see what's in there. But I'm sure it's full of something. Well, I can't open the door here, or yeah, because it's locked. So this is another building, and this is in the Baroque style. And I'm sure there were adjoining buildings here. And this used to be the case with the manor house. My battery just gave up, so I don't know if my last sentence was there, that the servants never used to live with the nobility in the same building. Just when they were working there, they were allowed to be there. So I would say this was the servants in this end of the building. Probably discontinued over here. And if you look at it, where the church is and where the manor house is, this is directly on the way to the church. So I'm in front of the city hall, and see, I think the city hall was built in 1624, and this is the old coat of arms. It's showing the water castle in the center, tower in the middle of that building. It's called the town hall, or town's office. It's quite a nice architecture. This is in the Baroque style. The hustle and bustle of Holic town. Now, if you were here last year, you would see totally different businesses here, as they are growing up here like mushrooms in the forest. And somebody gets into the business, and then they go broke, and they open up another one here, and it's like changing quite often. Here, another church there. I wish you could smell the smells here. There's a bake shop somewhere around here, and it smells really good. And see behind, that's the yellow building that I was in from behind. And behind this building in the corner here that you can see is the manor house.